Welcome everyone to Begin with Breath Tai Chi. My name is Dr. Adam Potts, the Tai Chi PT, and today is Tai Chi for fitness and well-being. All right, today is actually a really special session because we have a huge announcement that has been long awaited, and so I will introduce you all to that announcement. But first, I wanted to introduce you to a special guest. So hold on one second. I want to bring in my special guest here. So weighing in at 12 pounds, this is Leo the Golden Retriever. He's 8 weeks old, and he likes belly rubs, chewing on toys, and going potty every hour. So I'm sure he'll be making many guest appearances throughout the coming years. So I just wanted to say hi to everyone. And yeah, it's a new addition to our family. So we're really excited. We just got him just 2 days ago. So we're still everyone's getting used to the new routines. Looks like he's a little tired. Nothing's cuter than a puppy yawning, huh? So, all right. Well, I'm gonna give him back to his mama here. All right, I'm back. All right, and so now that you've all met Leo, I wanted to also let you know we have some really special announcements today. We have a really big one, but first, I wanted you to know that for anyone that's a new member, if you've joined in the last few weeks, then please register for your new member webinar, An Introduction to Tai Chi. It's going to be this Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Register even if you can't make the time, and I'll send you the link to the replay. All right, the replay will be good for 48 hours. All right, and then for our big announcement, I wanted you to also know that we're opening enrollment to our Begin with Breath Tai Chi Teacher Training Level 1 Crane. And so that's opening today. And so for everyone that's in the community, you will be getting an email very shortly. So once the session's over, you can check your email and learn all the details about the teacher training. I do have a link. It's either above or below the video for those that are here online. And then, so you can click on the link to register for the new member webinar. Right under that, there's information on the Tai Chi teacher training. All right, now, if you're a studio member, you'll be getting a separate email. So make sure you go by that email. But for everyone else, you can click on the link above or below this video and learn more about the teacher training. And once again, you should be getting an email. If you don't get one and you're interested, then please send me an email and I'll send you the link. All right. So we'll do about a 15-minute flow today, followed by a bonus lesson. I had a special question, a special request that will break down one of the movements today so that you can learn more of the details, and then we'll finish up there. So without further ado, find a place where you can do some mindful movement. You don't need a lot of space, just enough room where you can reach your arms out to the sides and enough to where you can take a step forward and a step back. All right, so as always, don't worry about getting the movements perfect. Just follow along. I'll be your mirror image. That's usually the easiest way to follow along, and you can have a seat at any time. So we'll begin with the feet together or as close as you can. The hands can come to the lower abdomen, and just taking a few deep breaths in and out. Whichever way works good for you. But if you like, you can do the belly breath. So as you breathe in, the belly expands, and as you breathe out, the belly returns toward the spine. Abdominal breathing. Breathing in and breathing out, arriving in the present moment. Just letting go of the worries from the day, coming into the here and now. And then on the next inhale, you can hold the breath at the top just for a moment, and then let it out with a big sigh. Just letting out tension and stress. The hands float down by the sides. And as you breathe in, the arms float up. They circle in front as if you're gathering in energy, bring it into the heart, send it down toward the earth. Sinking the chi. Breathing in, gather. Breathing out, directing down. Nice and easy, nice and slow. Just adding in some gentle movement. One more time, sink the chi. And then from here, step one foot out to the side, either foot. The arms float up in front, just to about shoulder height. Then the arms get heavy, floating down, the knees and hips soften. Opening the door, the start of the journey. Floating up and floating down like you're resting on a wave in the ocean. All right, one more time. The tide rolls in, the tide rolls out. This time the arms float out to the sides like you're spreading your wings. The arms float down, the palms face up. They float up the midline, pressing up overhead, and then floating out and down. Holding up the sky. Breathing in as you rise up. Breathing out, floating down, or taking as many breaths as you need. Opening the shoulders and chest, decompressing the spine. One more time, holding up the sky. This time the hands float up to the heart. One hand pushes up, the other pushes down, connecting the sky and the earth. Switching sides, keeping the spine neutral at first. This time, if you want, you can do a side bend, but always easing in, never forcing it. One more time to the other side. This time, bottom hand comes up and push to the corner. The other hand pushes behind. Coming back to center, push to the other corner. The dragon spreads its wings. Nice and easy, gentle rotation. One more time. This time, back hand swings around as if it's gliding on the surface of the water. The other hand comes around. The dragon swings its tail. It's like you're making little ripples in the water, sending the waves out into the distance. And then round out and hug the tree, and then soften. From here, both arms float all the way over to the side. They drift down, floating up to about shoulder height, and then other side. And then from here, this hand scoops down and comes right out in front. The elbow bends, the hand comes to about eye level, and then back down. Same side, just the arms at first. Breathing, swaying side to side. This time, if you want, you can lift your leg, touching down as needed, the elbow right over the thigh. Stepping down. This time, touching down or lifting up. Once more, the rooster stands on one leg. Just letting go of judgment, bringing curiosity to your experience. This time, the arms float over to the other side. They drift up to shoulder height. And then this hand scoops down and comes right out in front to about eye level. The other hand by the hip, and then floating down. Same side, just the arms again at first, coming right out in front. This time, you can lift your leg if you like, touching down as needed. The rooster stands on one leg. That still counts. Once again, touching down or lifting up. Meeting yourself where you're at. You can always go forward from there. One more time. Then circle around, hug the tree. And then the arms open. The hands float down, the backs of the hands face each other, the hands float up the midline, and then drift out to the sides, the fountain. Breathing in as you rise up, Breathing out, really letting go, softening as much as you can. Soft like water. One more time. The fountain. All right, now this time, step one foot in, cross the wrists in front of the heart. Step out to the side, the hands brush out as well. This time you can lift your knee, pointing it to the corner or touching down as needed. This time you can kick your heel straight out to the corner, or you can always kick down towards the earth. Bring it back in. And then finally the arms open as you kick the heel kick. And once again, you can kick down towards the earth, or maybe kick a little higher, just seeing how that feels. It's okay to wobble. That's how we train the balance. One more time, the heel kick. And then this time the arms float out to the side, step the other foot in, cross the wrists in front of the heart. Step out, the hands brush out. This time you can lift your knee, touching down as needed. From here you can kick the heel. Once again, you can kick straight out or towards the earth, or anywhere in between. And then you can open the arms as you kick the heel kick. Building strength and balance, stability, breathing. One more time, the heel kick. And then circle around, hug the tree. Love the hugs. From here, the arms open up wide, the hands float down. This time, fingertips point up. The hands float up the midline, then spiral out and away from each other. We call this silk reeling. Spiraling the energy throughout the body, creating healing and vitality. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more time, silk reeling. This time, step one foot in, the hands come by the sides. Coming on the ball of the foot, the arms float out like you're spreading your wings. We call this the crane. And if you like, you can lift your leg or touch down. Either way is okay. This time the arms can float all the way up and over, just as much as you can. And then stepping down, other side, just the arms at first, the crane. Breathing in. Breathing out, touching down or lifting up. Like we're riding the wave, riding the breath. One more time, the arms come up and over, and stepping down. This time the wrists cross, they float all the way up and over. And then from here, shift your weight to one side, spread your wings behind as you lift the back leg, touching down as needed or lifting up. The crane takes flight. And stepping down, the wrists cross, the arms float up, and then other side. Shift your weight, spread your wings behind. And then stepping down, the arms float all the way up and over, circling out and down. Reverse direction, hug the tree. From here, the arms open wide. This hand here drops down and drifts over to the other side. The hands switch positions. They float across like clouds in the sky. The hands switch again. Wave hands like clouds. Softening the shoulders and neck, really letting go. Nice and easy. Just breathing. And then from here, the top hand makes a hook. Bottom hand comes up and then floats across. Palm turns out. Circle it back around. Single whip. And you can keep going just like that. Or if you want, this time you could step in as the hand comes up. And then step out as the hand floats across. One more time, single whip. And then release the hook. The hand floats over, cloud hands. Once again, stepping in, drift across, take your time, letting go. It's not as important how it looks, it's more about how it feels. This time, top hand makes a hook, bottom hand comes up, and then floats across, palm turns out, circle it around, single whip. This time, step in as the hand comes up if you want, and then step out as the hand floats across. One more time, single whip. Release the hook, the hand drifts over, cloud hands. Stepping in, drift across. This time, we'll drift across one more time, and then this time, step in as you make a hook. Step out, single whip, once again. Floating across, once more. Breathing in, breathing out. And then from here, reverse direction. The hand comes up and over, pressing down, scooping through, and then back up. Circle it around again. The snake creeps through the grass. And as always, it doesn't matter how low you go, just being kind to yourself. One more time. And then release the hook. The hand drifts over, cloud hands. Stepping in, take your time, breathing. This time, top hand makes a hook, bottom hand comes up, step in. Step out, the hand floats across, single whip. Once more, breathing in, breathing out. Then reverse direction, the hand comes up and over, pressing down, scooping through, and then back up. Once again, the snake creeps through the grass. One more time. And then release the hook, the hand drifts over, the hands become clouds, connecting with nature, stepping in as we learn to move with effortless ease, at least eventually. So at first, it takes a little effort, just like anything. The more we practice, the easier it gets. The more we really sink in, becoming present, letting go of judgments, just being in the here and now. One more time, cloud hands. And then hug the tree, bring it back to center, the arms open, hands float down, palms face up, one hand on top of the other. This hand here floats all the way up and over, and then down the center line of the body. Other side, breathe in as the hand floats up, breathing out, centering, creating focus, clarity, and presence. Calming the heart, calming the mind. One more time, centering. This time, both arms float all the way up and over just as much as you can. The hands float down as you soften the hips and knees. And circle the hands in front as if you had a big ball right in front of the body, scooping under, back up to the heart, and down. One more time, breathe in as you rise up. Breathing out, softening down. This time, making a diamond shape with the hands in front of the heart, press out, opening the heart, sending out all your loving kindness out to the world like rays of light coming out of your heart. May all beings be free from suffering. May they be happy. May they be healthy. May they live with ease. And then turning your palms to face yourself, the hands come to the heart. May I be kind to myself. May I feel connected with all beings. May I love myself just as I am. And then the hands can float down to the lower abdomen. You can step your feet together or as close as you can. You can close your eyes or keep a soft gaze, letting your body rock and sway ever so gently, bamboo in the wind. Just feeling the gentle rocking motion, all the sensations in the body that arise. Feeling the inflow and the outflow of the breath. And then bring your attention into your heart, creating an inner smile, expressing gratitude to yourself for being here today. And then if your eyes were closed, you can slowly open them. The hands can come together in front of the heart. And we can finish with a bow. Thank you all so much for joining me for this Tai Chi Flow. All right, I'd love it if you typed in the comments or in the chat how you're feeling right now. Love to hear about your experience. I'm sure others would too. All right, and stick around, we have a bonus lesson today. And so I'm gonna break down one of the movements at a special request. All right, thanks, Lois. Peace to you too. All right, loved it. Peaceful, feeling nice, awesome. Sweet puppy, thanks. All right, so I wanted to demonstrate one of the movements. I had a question, and it was about this movement called single whip. We did that today. And so I wanted to give you some tips so that it can feel a little bit more comfortable, or if you're just interested in more of the details. All right, so today I'll demonstrate it first. So we started off doing cloud hands, where we drift across. All right, and so it's really nice because it really just flows right into single whip, to where the top hand makes a hook, the bottom hand comes up, and then the bottom hand floats across. All right, and then we can step in and do it, and step out. All right, so that's single whip. In traditional Tai Chi, we often do it one time and then go on to the next movement. But in the flow, we can do it as many times as we want. So I usually do it about 3, 4, or 5 times just to really start to feel the sensations. It's more about mindfulness than getting it perfect. All right, can you just sink in, whichever way you're doing it, and just really tune into the body? That's what it's really, I think, the most important thing. And then you can always learn the traditional forms later, but at first, just get familiar with the movements, just really feel the benefits of Tai Chi right away. All right, so let's break down more detail though, traditional style. All right, so I'll do the footwork first. I'll do the back view, so if you want to follow along. All right, so we start off by being in symmetrical stance. So the feet are parallel. All right, so we're doing cloud hands, right? So we're shifting the weight side to side. All right, so you can just practice shifting your weight. Nice and easy, one side, nice and easy to the other. All right, then when we go to do single whip, we shift our weight, we'll say the right leg, and then lift the left foot, come into a T-step. That's when you're on the ball of the foot, very lightly, just enough for balance. Then you open the hip. All right, so we're turning the torso and the hip opens, and then we step out to the side into a bow step. All right, and so the bow step is the lunge. All right, let me just pull the camera down a little bit so you can see my footwork. I want to make sure you can see that. All right, so I'll do it again. All right, so we shift all of our weight to the right leg, step the left foot into a T-step, open the hip, and then step out to the side into a bow step. And the back foot turns in. All right, let me show you from this angle so you can see. All right, so I'm just looking at you that way, okay? So now remember, when I say the side, it's like you're in a square, all right? So there's a square, you're in the middle, and I either say step to the corner, which is the corner, or to the side, which is like the side of the square. All right, so right now, you're the side of the square. All right, so we're shifting our weight side to side, doing cloud hands. All right, then shift your weight to your right leg, step the left foot in to a T-step, then open the hip. So I kind of turn my whole body, my hip opens as much as you can, and then I step into a bow step out to the side. And then the back foot turns in 45 degrees. All right, did you notice how I didn't step directly to the side? I kind of stepped a little diagonal so that I have a channel between my feet. All right, because if you step out just to the side, then you'll be on a tightrope. All right, so if I just do step out to the side and you just step straight out to the side, see how I'm kind of wobbly now? I'm like I'm on a tightrope. So that's not a good bow step. That's good for maybe yoga and other balancing postures, but for Tai Chi, that's not the intent. All right, the intent is to step into a bow step, which is the bow and arrow step, very stable position. All right, so once again, we'll do that again. So shifting the weight to your right leg, step the left foot into a T-step, open the hip, step a little bit diagonal, so you're kind of stepping back a little bit, and then turn the back foot in 45 degrees. See, now I have the space between the feet. All right, and that way I'm nice and stable. All right, and so with the bow step, we have 60% of your weight on the front leg, 40 on the back. And then when we do the flow, then you can do, let's see, if we're doing like single whip, then we're shifting the weight back and then shifting forward, shifting back, and then coming forward. All right, so that's the footwork in general. All right, and so with single whip, the torso is vertical, okay, and it's 45 degrees in relation to the front leg. All right, so if we stepped in, we opened, and then we step out, we're nice and vertical and open. All right, so we're not squared off like some movements we are. This one, we're open. Okay, we're not leaning forward, we're actually straight up. All right, let's do the arm work. All right, I'll do the front view for this one. All right, so we're shifting side to side. All right, you can do the mirror view, it doesn't matter. All right, so we shift our weight to one side. Oh, actually, let's do the arms, so, sorry. All right, so one hand is up in cloud hands, the other hand's underneath. All right, so if you want to find out how to get the cloud hands, is you hug the tree, put one hand diagonal up, the other down. There you go. That's why we hug the tree so much, because it's very similar to a lot of the positions we need to get into in Tai Chi. All right, so we're drifting across, and then as we do that, the top hand makes a hook. So the top hand turns out, and then it drops down softly into a hook. All right, now the hook is a beak. All right, so you can see that the fingertips are all touching, the thumb's touching. It's soft, so we're not like squeezing real hard. We're just nice and soft. All right, we're not, some traditions, some other styles of Tai Chi make more of a circle, but with the Yang style, which is what I mostly teach, we're in the kind of a beak. All right, but you want it to be soft, all right? All right, so once again, we're drifting across into cloud hands. All right, the hand that's up, that's the way we're turning. So whatever arm's up, that's the way we turn. All right, top hand makes a hook, so the palm turns out, and then it just kind of drops into the hook. All right, so that's the hook. That's just going to stay there. The bottom hand comes up, fingertips point to the forearm, the center of the forearm. All right, that's how you know where this hand goes. So it doesn't go there or out there, so just have it point somewhere around there, maybe a fist or two lengths away from the forearm, and then it drifts across, and then once again, palm turns out, and instead of making a hook, we just settle right into that position. That's single whip. All right, now we can add in the footwork. All right, so step in as the hand comes up, open the hip, right? And then step into your bow step. The hand floats across, back foot turns in 45 degrees, and settle. All right, now it might look like the arms are out to the sides, but if you look at me, in relation to my torso, they're 45 degrees, so they're not out to the sides. It's that optical illusion. There's a lot of that in Tai Chi. But because we're turning the torso, it almost looks like the arms are to the sides. All right, but if you look at me here, they're actually just like I'm gonna give you a big hug. All right, let me show you from the side here. See how they're 45? So they're not out 90 degrees. They're just right here, because you want them to stay soft. If we're constantly creating all this tension, then we're not gonna be able to store a lot of energy and deliver much energy either. So we can't generate enough force. But if we're soft, it's kind of like a spring. Once we're soft, okay, then if we want, then we can deliver force a little bit more forcefully. But for now, just stay nice and soft. Get used to being soft. Once you master softness, then you can transform it into hardness if needed. All right, but you never have to actually make it into a martial technique. You can actually just do the nice and soft form for health and wellness. All right, so you can keep going just like that. Once again, the arms are 45 degrees. Soften if you're not sure. All right, so single whip is kind of an interesting movement because a lot of people, where does that name even come from? All right, and so the name comes from this idea that in China, when they were developing a lot of these names of the Tai Chi movements, they were based off of just things you would do in everyday life sometimes. All right, and so one of them was you would oftentimes go to work you would be walking across the countryside with a big stick. You'd have it on your back. You'd have one arm draped over, the other on the other side, and then coming down from either end is maybe a bucket with like maybe work tools and maybe some clothes to change into later on the other side. And so you'd be walking down the countryside kind of like that. All right, so that kind of gives you the sense of what the arm positions are like that, right? So that's where that name comes from. And then the stick is also known as a whip, right? Not like a soft whip, but like you would kind of whip someone like as a weapon. All right, and so that's where that whip comes from, is that you could potentially use that, if you were, say you were walking to work or coming home from work after working all day and there was a bandit that came across wanting to rob you, then you'd have this weapon with you that you could defend yourself. So that's the story of single whip. All right, and then the martial application, it actually is used as a palm strike. All right, so you would actually strike someone that way, and then the other hand is the hook. That's the big question. What is that thing doing? Why do I make a hook? All right, so this is this idea that we're splitting. We're kind of going in opposite directions, and then this can be used as a grab. All right, so it's kind of like a hook, like you're going to grab someone, and then you can pull them in and then maybe use a strike that way, or you could use it as an actual strike. All right, so you're coming across, and you could actually strike someone. The energy point, or the point of contact with your opponent, would be the back of the wrist, and you would maybe strike at the neck or somewhere that you would find might be helpful for you. So you could strike, or you could just grab and control and then strike that way, or you could block, strike that way, or that could be a block too. So there's lots of applications. There's not one right way. All right, most of the movements have all these different applications, but in general, just to make it simple, we'll just say this is a palm strike, this is a grab. That makes more sense with the hook there. All right, so you can do that. Keep that in your mind if you want. Sometimes it's helpful just to know where the name comes from. But once again, you never have to use it for martial like a martial application. Yeah, so let me know what you think. Or if you have any questions about single whip, let me know. All right. So what I'm going to do, I also have a quote that I wanted to share with you. I'm going to pull that up real quick here. So this one is from Khalil Gibran, who said, "You shall be free indeed, not when your days are without a care, nor your nights without a want and a grief, but rather when these things girdle your life, and yet you rise above them naked and unbound." So I love that idea of really just being with what arises. Sometimes it's not pleasant. It's usually not easy, especially if it's unpleasant. But as we cultivate these resources like Tai Chi, these inner resources that give us strength, resilience, and just basically make us more durable with life, both physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually, whatever that means to you, that's going to help you rise above these things. It's going to help you accept, process, and release. All right, that's what Tai Chi is all about, yin and yang, storing, releasing. Right, contracting, expanding. So all of these things actually transfer into daily life. All right, well, thank you all so much. I really enjoyed today's session. I was so excited if you couldn't notice about all these great things that are happening. There's more to come in the Begin With Breath community, so make sure you come every week to this class. It's free. You can come as many times as you want. All right, we also have a lot of other programs for those that want to go deeper, including the teacher training. So now, first, though, if you're new here, then maybe just start off with the Introduction to Tai Chi. That's this weekend. It's Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And so make sure to register because it's via Zoom. So you have to register in order to attend. All right, but register even if you can't make it, and I'll send you the link to the replay. right? The link is above or below the video, so just check the description of the video. And then right below that, you'll find the Tai Chi teacher training link. And then if you want to learn more about that, you can click on that. However, if you've been in the community for a little bit, then you should be getting an email, and that'll give you more details and specifics. So if you're a studio member, make sure you check your email because you have a special link for that. All right, well, thank you all so much. I'm going to go through all your questions and comments over the next couple of days. So let me know if you have any questions or if there's any other movements you want me to break down for next time. So if you're really interested in some of the movements, then we can do that here. All right, thank you all so much, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.